Hey guys, I'm the Dragon's Beard and I'm back with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we're going to be looking at a clan boss team featuring Geomancer. So he's actually a part of the Guaranteed Champion event that's going on for Ancient Shards. If you summon 40 Ancient Shards, then you will be guaranteed to get him as a reward, and this dude is awesome. In terms of weakened champions, he's one of the more unique ones that is available in the game because he's got this crazy passive which takes some of the damage away from your team and sends it right back towards an enemy that has an HP burn on it. And we're going to be using this against the clan boss in order to take some of those big hits that happen towards the end of the fight and then send that damage right on back. Him and Underpriest Brogni are two of the champions that have been used recently in this way in order to put up bigger damage than what they normally would get just from using their A1 A2 abilities. So I've put together the Baconeater team, which is a little bit different than the Turvold version that I used a couple weeks ago. There's a certain comp that Sleepy Rhino came up with in the Deadwood Jedi Discord. I'm going to show that to you in the calculator, then we're going to check out the champion builds and take it for a spin and see what we can put up and see if we can reach 1 key status with a team of nothing but epic champions, which is kind of neat. So I'll swing over to the calculator here and show you what we're working with. Okay, so we're over here in the calculator. I've got my champions and my speeds plugged in here already. I'm going to put the speed ranges in the description since there is a little wiggle room, but there's some weird things that go on there to where, like, Seeker has to be faster than Deacon Armstrong and stuff of that nature. But for Deacon, he's bringing 2 important things. Number 1 is our speed aura to make the speeds a little bit more attainable since they are fast. And number 2 is the decreased defense. And then Seeker is providing increased attack for the team. And the 2 of them together with their turn meter boosts are going to be what allows us to run at a 2-to-1 ratio. Next are the Maneaters. They are super fast. 286 plus is where they have to sit. They are going to alternate Unkillable every turn because they're running at a 5-to-2 ratio. And this is going to make sure that we're protected throughout the entire fight. The Unkillable actually syncs up as early as turn 1. So we don't have anything to worry about there early on during the setup. And then Geomancer is bringing in the weakened debuff, and he's also using that passive in order to send a lot of the damage back. From turn 40 to turn 50, he's going to be doing really ridiculous amounts of damage with that A3 and the reflect mechanic together. So the thing that's a little tricky about this team, and it's different than the Turvold version, is that the DPS goes dead last in the turn order. That's going to mean that you can't run Relentless because back-to-back procs would cause the Unkillable to fall off. And it's also going to mean that it can't be a champion that has extra turn mechanics unless it happens on a specific rhythm. So Face Melter has a version of this that makes it work with Krutraxa, but that's kind of a different story there. So stay away from Whisper or any of those champions that have those random extra turn mechanics. Even though they bring the weekend in, it's not quite going to work for the tune. So the setups are super short. Maneater 1 and 3 turn delays on the Unkillable. Geomancer does not need a delay, neither does Seeker or Deacon. So we're going to be able to run this on auto by the end of Clan Boss turn count 1. So I'm going to hop back over into to the game and show you the stats that I'm working with here, and then we will take it for a spin and run a key. Okay, so first up is going to be Deacon. He's one of the 2 champions I have in a toxic set, the other being Seeker. We've got him at 229 speed. He can be anywhere from 227 to 232 in this comp. We've got him at 3300 attack, almost crit capped, and then 143 crit damage. That crit damage is kind of low, but it's not super important because he doesn't hit very hard. Most of his damage is coming from War Master and the toxic set. And then he does need accuracy because he's bringing that decreased defense debuff for us. So anything over 230 should be sufficient there. The other toxic champion is Seeker, so let me find the right one here. And he is running at 230 speed. The range is 228 to 235, but again, he does have to be faster than Deacon, so that's important. Not all speed combinations will work within that range. Also 3300 attack, 165 crit damage, he's crit capped, and then the accuracy does not matter on Seeker because the provoke does not work on the clan boss. Third up is Geomancer, so he's going to be the star of the show. Using that A3 for HP burn and the passive to put out giant amounts of damage, especially towards the end of the fight. I've got him in Cruel and Offense. It's not a huge deal what he's wearing. The speed range for him is 220 to 232. Mine runs towards the end, towards the low end of that. His base attack is a little bit lower, 1300, so I can't get him to like 5000, 6000, something like that. But 4300 is what we went with, and then 261 crit damage, just under his crit cap. His A1 and his A2 are bringing in a respectable amount of damage, but it's going to be a small portion of his overall damage. Most of it is coming from that A3 and passive combo, as well as Giant Slayer. So he's the only one on the team that is running Giant Slayer. The reason being is every single hit from that HP burn sending the damage back to the clan boss counts as a chance for it to proc the Giant Slayer. So we want War Master on everybody else, but Giant Slayer on him, kind of like Brogni. So you're going to see when I run the fight here that he can proc that like 5-6 times, especially if you're fighting an affinity to where you're getting hit twice. And that's kind of where all of his ridiculous damage comes from. Last up is going to be the two Maneaters, and they are running super fast, 287 speed. First one is just under 3000 attack, crit capped with 157 crit damage. Accuracy does not matter. And then on the second one, also 287 speed, 3300 attack, 168 crit damage, and accuracy does not matter. So on the masteries for them, they are going down to War Master, and then the Retribution Mastery in the defense tree is where the counterattack damage is going to come from. So everybody except for Geomancer is going to be running that same mastery set. That is it for the champions. We are up against, I believe it is Magic for clan boss. So we're going to get strong hits from Geomancer. I'm hoping that with Deacon and the weak hits, he can still keep that decreased defense up a respectable amount of time. And we are going to try to do a 1-key with all epics. So let me get the team set up, and then I will start off the setup and show you the rest of the fight. Okay, so I've got the champs plugged in here. Really, Deacon in the lead spot is the only part that's important because we're using his aura. The rest of the placement doesn't really matter. We cannot start on auto just because of those Maneater delays, but it's a very short setup, and we're going to be auto by the end of clan boss turn 1. So I've got the cheat sheet up here since I don't have it quite memorized yet. Both Maneaters open with their A2s. Seeker and Deacon do not need delays, so they're going to do A2, A1 from Seeker, and then A3, A2 from Deacon. Geomancer is going to get that HP burn up as soon as possible, as well as the weaken. He cannot weak hit if you're ever up against the green affinity. Just keep that in mind since it's not a hit. And then Maneater is going to do the fast one will do Unkillable, and then the slow one will not. Next turn, we're doing A1s from Seeker, Deacon, and Maneater. Geomancer is going to do the A2. It hits kind of hard, actually. 167, so that's the reason why we put some attack and crit damage on him. This Maneater is going to do an A1. Seeker's going to do that A2, A1 again. This Maneater is the last delay we need. A2 from him, and then from here on out, auto will do exactly what we want it to. What you'll see when the clan boss does the AoE here, I'll slow it down, but you're going to see that reflect damage happen on a slight delay after the clan boss hit. So everybody will take the damage, then you'll see the little passive thing go off, and then you'll see these beams shoot back towards the boss. So there's the hit. There's the reflect, and look at all those 68,000 hits. That's the Giant Slayer going off, so it can proc. There's 10 chances, since it's 5 hits on the AoEs times 2. So that's where the damage really ramps up, between that and the amount of the reflect itself. And that's the reason why Geomancer is a rock star when it comes to the clan boss. So the setup is over. We are going to kind of take, 10 turns or so until we start to get a lot of those counterattack procs when the clan boss is hitting hard enough. I'm really hoping that, again, that weak hit from Deacon does not cause issues with the decreased defense uptime, because if it falls off and then the bar is filled with poisons, that could mean that it gets stuck off there for a period of time. One thing involving the AI on Geomancer, he's going to use that A3 even if the HP burn and the weaken are already on the clan boss. So sometimes it just completely wastes one of his turns. With his AI and the custom AI configuration, you can either turn the A3 off completely, or he's just going to use it on cooldown. And other than manualing that fight, I can't come up with any way to prevent him from doing that. So I'm going to let this run since it is going to take a long time, probably almost a 20-minute fight. And we will come back towards the end and we're going to see if this team, worth a team of all epics, is going to be able to bring in a 1 key. So I will see you then. Alright, so we are at turn count 44 and we have just broken into the 1 key range. So we were able to achieve the goal of a 1 key with a full team of epics. And what you're going to see from Geomancer here is that these last 5 turns are going to be a tremendous amount of damage per turn. The clan boss is hitting so hard at this point that 15% that gets reflected back to the boss is a lot more than what we saw in the beginning of the fight. So there's another 3, I think that was 7 different Giant Slayer procs that happened all at once there. So that turn was worth almost 3 million damage. So these, as we approach that turn 50, we might even break into the 80 to 85 million range with all of that reflect damage. So I'm going to let the rest of this play out here and we'll see how it finishes up. Alright, so final numbers are in, 80 million and some change for the whole team. So Geomancer doing almost 40% of that damage himself with 32.1. In addition to that fearsome skin that he's got with the helmet and the glowing eyes, he's able to put up some fearsome damage as well. And then Deacon, 8.9 million with the toxic sets. He should be able to break 10 million if you're using him against a neutral or positive affinity. Seeker, almost 15 million. Maneaters, 11.2 and almost 13 million from them. So that is the one key challenge with all epics in the bag. Geomancer doesn't just work on Unkillable, he works really well in traditional teams too. If you have a crazy team with Ally Protect and Valkyrie or anything that can push the turn count super high into like the 60s, 70s, 80s, then that damage reflect just continues to scale as the fight progresses. So ENK's got a video on his channel where he's able to push over the 100 turn mark with Geomancer in the team, and it's pretty crazy to see how much damage gets passed back using that ability. So super fun champion. I think he was a great addition to the game. He works in other content that's not clan boss as well. It's always nice to have a weekend and an HP burn with a champion that can be used in faction wars or dungeons or what have. And you know, if you pull him early in the game, then he could be an account changer for you. Alright guys, that's all for this one. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Share it with your clanmates. I'm amazed how quickly the channel is growing, so thank you for anybody who's come over here from Reddit. I'll try to get some more content out for you soon. That way you can kind of see other stuff that I have in store. Until then, I've been the Dragonsbeard. Thanks for watching.